Hey guys, Andy McCann with CrossFit Garage, where intensity is king and routine is your enemy. I'm going to slide through the workouts and then I will come back and talk about them. So you can pause the video at any moment to get a detailed view, but now I will walk back through them. So something I'd like to reassert from last week into this week is intensity. Sometimes I'm seeing some of you guys, and the other coaches too, seeing you guys pick a heavier load and a higher skilled movement that we're not really mastered with, and doing that maybe too often. So you do want to hit those skills and add them to a workout, but you also don't want to give up the ability to move intensely in a workout. So this week you're going to see a lot of opportunity to move with intensity. There are some skilled movements. There's actually something else that's interesting. CrossFit will actually throw in, you work out for 3 days and rest another day. We can't do a 8-day workout. Ours is a 7-day week, so we use all 5 days. But there is opportunity to say, you know what, today I'm going to focus more on a different aspect. So I'm not going to go for intensity. But the key to CrossFit is intensity, and I'm going to go through these workouts for you. So this is a Granite Games qualifier, and the movements themselves aren't that bad, especially if you're going to go RX Plus, then you should be able to do bar muscle ups. If pull-ups still aren't there, then scale downward and make the next thing harder, right? So maybe do a easier ring row, and then or maybe like jumping pull-ups, ring row, or ring row to pull-ups or something, right? So make it tough, but the idea here is go as fast as you can. So you do this and then move right into this, and the intensity is the key. I'm going to cover this a little bit later, but intensity is the key to gaining the benefits or the quick movement ups in fitness that CrossFit has to offer. So we go for intensity over volume every time. All right, I love the name of this one, Intensity. So it's not a tent city, but it's intensity. Again, in this one, the movements themselves aren't too overly demanding in terms of you can, squat clean. If you're going to clean into it, you're going to, squat into it. That does take a different level of skill, but try to burn through this. Again, working on that intensity. And if you don't have some of the movements, that's totally okay. You can scale, you can modify. But the idea is to plow through these with intensity and work through fatigue and burning. So as you're doing this workout, you're like, oh, I can't do another set. Do it and see how your body responds. But the key to CrossFit in all this time, in all these years, has always been the intensity of what we do, not necessarily the volume. So if you're under 6 months in your CrossFit journey, don't go with intensity to that extreme. You'll have to figure this part out. It is the creme de la creme. It is the cherry on top of everything we do, intensity, but you have to be mechanically sound. So let's say you're in your 2nd month, then squat cleans at this weight may not be there. So back it down, do power cleans and make it a lighter weight so that you can move through it at 10. So looking at it from my perspective of doing this for 10 plus years, this right here is doable. As many as I can in 3 minutes. I would think that I could probably do maybe one and a half just at a glance. So your calorie row in 4 minutes, I think, I forgot how many 50 is. It's kind of 50 pulls, so that might be, I might be able to finish, get more calories. But this is, do the workout and then stop, rest a minute, and do the next workout. So I could probably finish this right here in, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, maybe less than that, depending on the transition time. So blow that out, rest a minute, blow that out, rest a minute, and keep going through this. The idea is to push that intensity boundary so that you can grow the anaerobic buckets of workout, that phosphagen and glycolytic cycles. All right, then another one that changes the modality, right? So now we're moving into running. So we still have a basic movement, hand release push-ups, put your chest out of the floor, lift your hands up. If you got to go from your knees, totally do that. That's perfectly fine. If you've got to plank it or put a box out or maybe some plates to kind of give you an incline so it's not as hard, that's fine too. So figure out what you need to do to keep moving and keep the movement relative or close to what we want, but also allow you to push through this. So 15 hand release push-ups and 15 toes to bar with a run. I'm not going to be running because of my knee, so I'll switch that to a row. But what I would do for 5 rounds, I would probably break the push-ups up in sets of probably 6-5-3 or 6-5-4, and the toes to bar probably 8 and 7, and then jump down for the run and use that run as kind of my recovery. but still trying to move hard. So that run is really was going to take a lot of time, and need to figure out, well, for me it would be the row, and you need to figure out how fast do I pound it so I can come back to this and do it. The run would be very different. So in this, because I'm in a row, I'm going to have to use my arms and legs a bit differently. So it may save my core, it may not, but I know my arms are going to be not as fresh here, so maybe I'll bump these down a little bit more. But the idea is, again, move with intensity. This should go pretty fast. Back in 2007 when we started the gym, or 2008 when the gym officially opened, the workout, there would be a lot of warming up, a lot of stretching, a lot of how-to, and then there was a workout. The workout would be anywhere from 3 minutes to 20 minutes. Sometimes you do the workout 10 minutes and you're done, but it's a hard 10 minutes. So you want to move fast. You don't always want to practice. So if I don't have toes to bar and 15 are going to take me like 30 minutes just to do 15, then I don't want them in the workout. Unless it's a toes to bar that you want to practice, in which case I'd say, hey, just do 3. And it would take you a little bit of time. You didn't get all the number in, but you're practicing the movement inside the workout. But you got to scale something so we can work on keeping some of that intensity up. Unless you're using it as a rest day and you're just going to go super, super slow, then in which case I'd tell the coach, hey, just cut me off when it's time to cut off because I'm not really moving fast. It's kind of an active recovery. Next day we've got lift component. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then on Friday, we're going to do another Granite Games qualifier, but they haven't released it yet, so we'll see it when it comes. So some things I want to talk about. Last week, I had mentioned we all have the same 24 hours. So Meredith actually has a podcast she does called The Same 24 Hours, mostly focused at the world of competing at triathlons, but it's got some really cool information in there, and it's fun stories. So take a listen to it, but I like this idea. We all have the same 24 hours. What do we want to do with them? I asked, I had a conversation with a member about volume versus intensity. And I proposed to them that, hey, the volume that you do, you should be, if volume was the secret to the mix, then because you do more volume than me, you should totally be kicking my ass. But we work out very similarly, and I only do what's programmed. So it's in the CrossFit model, it's not volume, it's the intensity. So what are you doing with your workout? So if you go back and look at CrossFit, you can read this cool stuff. Go to crossfit.com, what is CrossFit? And you'll see in here, actually let me highlight, let me find it. All right, so it's this sentence right here. So by employing constantly varied approach to training, functional movements and intensity lead to dramatic gains in fitness. Why we have a whiteboard here is harnessing the natural camaraderie, so community, and competition and fun of sport or game yields an intensity that cannot be matched by other means. So basically, for instance, if Josh and I go, oh, we're going to take each other on today's workout and we push each other, we're going to push harder because we're competing with each other, thus spraying the CrossFit game. So I think I mentioned in a post before that we used to, or the gym spawned the garage games. And I used to be intimately involved with this and hosted some really large events. I think the Worldwide WOD, Global Aftermath, Gym Resolutions, and things like that are coming up. I believe we did Gym Resolutions the last 2 years. And of course the Open, so competitions are fun and I love them. I don't personally do anymore. I'm just burnt out from years of helping run the garage games. So anyway, there are events that you can get into. But I asked the Facebook Owners Only forum and said, hey, what does it take to make it to the games? Talk about your training strategies. And so there was a lot of interesting commentary. They all agreed that you're going to spend 3+ hours in the gym every day. But this guy, Jeremy Jones, actually was pretty interesting in the fact that, hey, his response was long, but also full of great information. That it's multiple hours a day, 5 days a week. And I said, how do you balance family? He's like, you don't balance family. If you go to the games, whether it's the Open, regionals, or the games, if you're really pushing hard for that and changing your body, one, average people can't really get there anymore because the games have progressed. But two, you put everything on the back burner. So anyway, he had said, it's not just now trying to do that for a year. He's saying it's 3 to 6 years of constant training and dedication may get you there. So even these guys that are genetically blessed, putting in all this time are having a hard time rising up to the top because of the nature, any sport grows. But that competition, that drive for intensity is still there. These guys have a huge amount of volume they're trying to manage, but they're also managing rest and nutrition and all this other stuff. And some of their comments are pretty cool about you've got to get so many other things right before you actually increase your training volume. And a lot of them were nutrition and recovery as well as rest. But anyway, very cool stuff. So you'll see us move some of our programming. I always want to keep it changing so that you don't plateau, so constantly varied. And if you look at some of the biggest or some of the programs that are followed by the most affiliates, one is CompTrain and another is crossfit.com. In CompTrain, he actually has a section for those who think they're going to try to go for regionals or go for the open. And you'll see for the regionals, there's a lot of stuff to do. You're going to spend a long time in the gym, or at least come back several times. And the open competitors, not so much, but he's also gearing you to peak, like in a lift competition or a triathlon. You're trying to peak your performance in February. We don't do that. We just want you to train. But then he also has a programming that's for the class. So this right here is about your class. So he gives this away for free, and we'll probably follow it for a little bit. But here is the goal we have for pretty much everybody. The goal is improving fitness on a slow trajectory towards a distant horizon. So basically, we want to have you fitter year after year. Going slowly keeps away injuries. So anyway, it's just some pretty cool stuff. Here's what he did the other day. You could see it was just some running, but with intensity. And you can look at CrossFit HQ and see what they're doing, which is very similar to our programming. And as I said, we'll be following them. Like I said, there's a rest day on Friday. We'll be following them shortly. Oh, look, bike 10,000 meters. That would hurt. And look, so they even do just lift days. But anyway, all this will be more clear as we do more programming, but just want to kind of keep you guys in the know and help you understand why we do what we do and why intensity is king and routine is your enemy.